Well, the countdown to the Senate confirmation hearings have started. One of the critical questions is whether the hearings will begin before the 4th of July recess. Democratic Majority Whip Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. He also sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Thanks for joining us, Senator Durbin. Greatly appreciate you joining me.
Good to be with you, Tamara.
So let me first get your thoughts on Elena Kagan, what you know about her background and what you feel regarding her confirmation hearing. Will it go as smoothly as I know you Democrats hope?
I hope it will, because she's an extraordinary person. You know, the first woman to serve as Solicitor General, which is literally the attorney representing the United States of America before the Supreme Court, first woman to be dean of the Harvard Law School, an exceptional background of her knowledge of the law, I think is going to really be a good thing to bring to this committee, where she once served as a staff attorney.
She was critical in 1995 in an interview when she was a law professor in Chicago, critical of the process, the confirmation hearing, saying that the nominee owes it to the public, to the senators, to answer questions directly, and that the senators, quite honestly, owe it to the American people and the process to ask specific and directed questions that really we need to know more about the nominee. What do you think? Will those words come back to haunt or help her during the confirmation hearing?
She's going to hear that article over and over again. I can just guarantee you. It's like the wise Latina comment, you know, a very brief comment in a speech by Justice Sotomayor became the centerpiece for all of the questions that were asked of her later. And I think the same thing will be true when it comes to Solicitor General Kagan. That particular article is one that reflects some of the frustration of sitting on the side of the table and asking straightforward questions and being told, well, I can't give you an answer because then I'd be suggesting how I would rule from the bench. So there was frustration reflected in that, and Elena Kagan is going to have to strike the right balance where people think she's being honest and forthcoming.
As I mentioned in our introduction of you, some are expecting a confirmation before 4th of July. There are other articles out today saying that you may have some Republicans who try to tie this up as long as possible, perhaps through August, in hopes of helping out their candidates in the midterm elections. Is that possible?
Entirely possible. In fact, I'm sure that at least outside forces will be arguing for that, but I hope that the Republicans in the United States Senate will join us to make sure that we have adequate time to go through her background, what she has written, what she said, so that we'll have hearings and bring her to a full vote in the Senate Judiciary Committee, where I serve with our chairman, Pat Leahy. Let's get this done in an expedited way. Let's not drag it out. Let's not try to accelerate it. Let's make sure we understand completely what her candidacy is all about.
And let me quickly ask you, if she is confirmed, she will be the third woman in the Supreme Court. This would be history-making, sitting on the bench, the fourth woman, but the third, obviously, in the current Supreme Court. What is your reaction to that on that raw level?
Well, my wife would say 4 women out of 111 Supreme Court justices. You got a long way to go, Senator Durbin, and I think that's true. Let's look for talented people, and in Elena Kagan, we have an extraordinarily talented woman who has really served her nation well, and I think would be a good appointment to the Supreme Court.